right, let's move on over to the Southeast Division. First up, we have the Orlando Magic. They went 47-35 last year as the fifth seed. Their over and under this year is 47.5. They added Contavious Cadwell-Pope. They added Corey Joseph. They re-signed guys like Franz Mo Wagner, Jonathan Isaac. They lost Joe Ingles. They picked up Tristan Da Silva here in the draft with the 18th pick. So what are your thoughts here on the Magic, Osama?
I mean, holy shit. This is a defensively stingy team. They were the second best defense in the league last year, and they added KCP, which is crazy. And Jonathan Isaac is a complete destroyer in the paint. When he's healthy, he's amazing. I think that it can only go up from here offensively. They were the 22nd. They were ranked 22nd in offensive efficiency. So I think that they could just find a scoring punch. I have them at the 7th seed just because there are some other teams I think that have a higher floor, but their ceiling can be way, way higher. They could easily get into the top 5. They can win a lot of games off of defense alone.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really like what the Magic are building on there, and I do see Paolo Banchero as being like, one of the best players here in the league this year, and he's going to showcase that, I think. And I think that's good enough to carry them over 47.5 and take them all the way to the 4 seed here to Sama. That's what I'm thinking. And I do like what they're building defensively, and I think between Banchero and Suggs and Franz Wagner, you got some scoring punch there as well. So we'll see if they can kind of keep that up for a whole season. And I do expect Banchero to be like a all NBA second team type of guy. So definitely see that kind of leap from him this year is what I expect. All right, let's move on over here to the Jimmy Butler's team here, in the Miami Heat. 46-36 last year. We're the 8th seed. Over under 44.5. They didn't do much. They added Alec Burks. They lost Caleb Martin. They lost Patty Mills. They drafted Khalil Ware with pick 15 here, so to have some insurance behind Bam. And that's really it. So what are your thoughts here, Osama? Are they better than 44.5?
No, they're not. And my heart hurts to see it, really. I love this organization. I think that they make a lot of great decisions. They have the best coach in the league, but they didn't get any better. Let me start with the positive. Defensively, they're arguably the most disciplined team in the league, despite all of their struggles and missing Butler for a number of games. They still had the 5th ranked defense in the league. They did regress shooting. So the year before, when they went to the conference finals, they had the number one defense, number one 3-point shooting in the league. Goodness. And then they went all the way down to 21st in offense last year. So they're in a tough spot. Jimmy Butler's in a contract year. They could decide to trade him and try to get something out of it before he parts ways with them. But I don't see that unless he's healthy and he goes crazy. I don't see them doing any better than the play-in.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I do think they're good enough to get like 45 wins, and that's kind of their cap there for me. 45 wins, somewhere around the 7th, 8th seed there as well. Because they pretty much maintain status quo, but you never know. Sometimes these guys find these random G leaguers who turn into like really good bench players. So maybe they'll find another Gabe Vincent or Max Strauss or whoever, right? And turn that guy into a lights out shooter that can mesh here with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. And I guess maybe Tyler Hero has a bounce back year. Maybe that's the change there, but we'll see. I don't expect much for them. I think status quo is kind of where they're at. All right, let's move on to the Atlanta Hawks. They had a 23-24 record. Their 23-24 record was 36-46. They were the 10th seed. Over and under this year's 35.5. They lost a couple of guys here. They added really not a lot. They added Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, Cody Zeller. They lost Dejounte Murray, Sadiq Bey, AJ Griffin, and then they drafted Zach Reisher here at pick number 1. So they got the number 1 pick. They added a guy in a very arguably weak draft class who could be a guy, could not be a guy. 35.5, Osama. Are they over or under on that?
They're going to be under. which I like the direction they were headed in initially when they started drafting a bunch of guys in the first round: Kevin Herter, Trey Young, DeAndre Hunter. I like the direction they were headed in, and then it just didn't work for whatever reason. They can't play defense. They were the 29th ranked defense in the league last year, and they traded their best perimeter defender away, which is DeJounte Murray. They have a case to be arguably the worst defense in the league this year. Uh, this could get ugly, and they might blow it up.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening, and maybe this is the year they finally trade Clint Capella. Who knows? And let him not be their starting center anymore. Every year, it's rumors Clint Capella's getting traded, but I do see them finishing maybe like 33 wins, 34 wins, if all goes well, and I think that might be good enough here for the 9 seed because they're just some really bad teams here in the East, which we're gonna probably end with here. A few of the worst teams here on the East. Which is one of them is the Charlotte Hornets here. Last year they were 21 and 61, 13th seed. Over under this year is 27 and a half. They didn't add much. They brought in Taj Gibson and Harry Giles. They lost David Bertans and Reggie Jackson. They drafted Tajan Salen. I'm not sure I'm not saying that guy's name right, but with the pick number 6, didn't even know who this guy was, and I was surprised he was the number 6 pick. So I like what they're doing, but tell me, Osama, what do you think? 27 and a half is a stretch for them this year?
Yeah, I was high on them last year. I thought that like they'd find something with LaMelo, and I like Brandon Miller. I think he's like a really talented player, kind of figuring things out. But they were terrible last year. They were 28th in offense, 29th in defense. LaMelo only played 22 games last year. I don't have anything good to say, really. I think they're going to pray for the lottery and try and get. I think this is supposed to be a better draft next year, so maybe they get something else that boosts them. Because, yeah, this is not a good team at all.
Not at all, not at all. I think they just got to let Brendan Miller play and kind of grow into his game. And so I think that's it, right? Like, we'll see. They're going to be definitely under. I think definitely at the bottom here. Maybe fringe play-in team. Maybe if all goes well for them. But the 11th seed, give or take, is where I have them at. All right, and the last team here in the Eastern Conference, definitely the worst team in the Eastern Conference, and the Nets are giving them some run for their money here, is the Washington Wizards. Finished 15 and 67 here, finished 14th, over under 22 and a half. They added Sadiq Bey, they added Malcolm Brogdon, they added Jonas Valanciunas. They lost Danny Avdija. They lost Tyus Jones. They lost Landry Shamet. They added Alex Sarr here with the number 2 pick. They added Bub Carrington with pick number 14. They added Keyshawn George with pick 24. So they added 3 rookies here. What are your thoughts here, Sama? 22 and a half, over, under?
Under, I think. I think they're bad. They won 15 games, and I think they were really reliant on Jordan Poole possibly making a few of his 35 shots or whatever he took a game, just hoping Jordan Poole's microwave heats up. They added a bunch of guys that are similar in a vein of Jordan Poole, where maybe this guy will go off this night. Maybe this night this guy will go off. And that's kind of how the team is structured. When you were rattling off like the number of guys that left, I didn't know if you were actually going to stop or not. I thought you were going to just say the whole team left. That's what it sounded like. You were just going to rattle off like 8 or 9 names and go, oh, there's no one left on the team, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. I do like some of the veteran guys they added, but I see them, yeah, like right there. Maybe they squeeze by and get 23 wins here, but that still probably leaves them at the bottom of the conference. And like they said, they just got to see some of these rookie guys develop, and maybe they got one. Maybe they hit out of one out of 3 on this in this draft, right? 3 first-round picks. So, and yeah, Jordan Poole, we know what he is, what he does. Nothing impressive to write about outside of that 1 year where he, lifted the Warriors to a championship with Steph Curry. But yeah, I think that's the Wizards. Terrible team. They're stuck at the bottom. And that's really where they're at. So, Osama, last question here as we wrap up the Eastern Conference preview. Who is making it out of the East for you?
I want to say the Knicks, but I think it's gonna be the Celtics again. I think they're too talented.
I like it. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I'm gonna say the Knicks. I'm gonna go the opposite here. I think we definitely agreed on this that it's gonna be Celtics, Knicks, Eastern Conference, bearing any injuries. Is that where your head is at, Osama?
Yep. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm picking the Knicks.
Changing your mind?
I'm changing my mind.
All right.
Yeah.
Join the
I'm
bandwagon.
changing my mind. I'm allowed to do it. Yeah. Let's go Knicks.